Today we got the top 10 worst cruises. Go and like, comment, subscribe, card, and get your new 1 mil.
I like once.
Welcome to Watch Mojo.
I like once.
And today we're counting down our picks for the most dreadful
Holy
incidents
shit.
to have happened on cruise ships. We won't be examining moments when boats sunk or capsized with people on board.
The liner
Okay.
crashing into the rocks after dark, seawater rushing in.
Number 10, boat brawl.
A boat brawl.
After a nice vacation, most people will leave in a state of
It
relaxed
would be on Carnival.
bliss for a bit. But one group of boat tourists had nothing but aggression immediately. In 2025, after spending 7 days in the Caribbean aboard Carnival Cruise Line,
No, I don't want to leave the Caribbean. No, I don't want to leave.
boat, Carnival Jubilee, the ship arrived at
Start
port in
getting down,
Galveston,
Captain.
Texas. However, some tourists were still holding grudges from a basketball game during the journey.
Oh, a fucking basketball game, bro. The fuck is in the NBA Finals, bro? It's a
Started
basketball
on the
game on a
basketball
shoot.
court
On a
on the
ship.
last sea day of the cruise.
Soon after arriving at the debarkation customs area, a massive brawl erupted, a
Ain't no way.
portion of which was filmed and put online.
Multiple security guards can be seen.
Oh,
running
I
toward
seen
the
that
fight,
one.
But they
That was
struggled
over
to
a
immediately
freaking basketball game?
contain the melee.
In the end, one passenger, Ethan Merritt Clark, was arrested for attacking an older man who tried to stop the fight, and 24
Bruh.
people were banned from further trips with Carnival.
A Carnival spokesperson told media, quote, "We will not tolerate such behavior. These individuals can seek other cruise lines, but they are not welcome on our ships."
Number 9, Cozumel Carnival Cruise Collision. Sometimes when on a
Oh,
vessel,
I remember
other
that one.
boats can get pretty close. Usually there's still
That's
loads of distance
wild.
and everything's fine. However, in 2019, the
Luckily,
Carnival
nobody's there.
Glory and
Nobody's
Carnival Legend cruise ships got way too close while
Way
near the
too
port in
close.
Cozumel, Mexico.
Tonight, massive ships on a collision course in Mexico.
When the Glory attempted to
Like,
dock as
hey,
the
you
Legend
put
had
it
already
bow,
done
you
so,
put it the
its
bow.
stern smashed into the Legend's bow. The Legend
gonna
sliced
hit
into
us
the Glory,
next.
completely destroying large portions of multiple decks. Despite the very visual collision with the Glory's Platinum restaurant,
They still went out
thankfully
like that.
at the time, only 6 people required treatment for minor injuries. It's believed heavy winds played a major factor in this dramatic collision.
Was very scary, traumatic, and just glad that it wasn't worse.
Number 8, entertainment to the rescue. There's a long-held tradition
Entertainment.
that a ship's
Oh
captain
my
should be the
God.
last to leave
Fuck.
when being rescued. Apparently, this isn't something Yanis Avranas followed.
I still thought that the captain was on the bridge doing whatever he needs to do.
In 1991, he was in charge of the MTS Oceanus as it went to Durban, South Africa. A big storm contributed to an explosion
Oh
causing
my Jesus Lord.
the boat to lose
That's the Titanic part
power
2.
and begin flooding. With no alarm sounded and the ship appearing to sink, onboard entertainer Moss Hills went to the bridge, only to find it empty. Hill used the radio to call for help and then took charge as other entertainment staff helped to organize the passengers and keep them calm.
We didn't know how many people to put into each lifeboat. We hadn't been trained for anything like
What? They weren't trained for that? Oh, there's no way.
we were entertainers.
When the
There's no
rescue
way.
helicopter arrived, Avranas reportedly insisted on being rescued first. After everyone
Wow.
was saved, the Oceanus then sank.
Every single person was saved. There wasn't
Oh,
a single
thank God. Thank God.
life lost.
Number 7, Pacific
Thank
Sun's
God.
injury storm. The seas can be a violent entity. As such, storms out there can wreak havoc on boats.
Oh, there's no way that's real. There's no way that's real, bro. What the fuck? Well, I'd be shitting my pants if I seen that fucking wave about to hit it to us. Oh my God, that shit's huge.
In 2008, P&O Cruises Australia's Pacific Sun ship was north of Auckland, New Zealand, during an 8-day trip. However, while in the
8
ocean, a
days?
massive storm struck, causing 23-foot waves and
Jesus, 23-foot waves
50
is
knot winds
crazy.
to crash into the vessel, forcing
Bigger
it to
than the
roll up to
boat.
31 degrees. Unsurprisingly, this caused a lot of danger for the passengers
No
and crew.
shit.
In 2010, CCTV footage from inside the Pacific Sun was released. One video from a restaurant showed crew, passengers, and equipment being thrown. was released.
They're
One
all
video
holding
from
on,
a
just
restaurant showed crew, passengers, and
Get
equipment
thrown like
being
nothing.
thrown violently from side to side. This carnage resulted in over 42 people getting injured. Number 6, Seabourn Spirit's Pirate Heroics. In
Damn.
2005, the Seabourn Spirit was traveling in Africa for a 16-day trip.
It's the biggest
Pirate
deal at
Hero.
breakfast. 2 delicious wake-up wrap sandwiches and a hotter iced coffee. The Dunkin' $5 meal deal.
Pandora.
While on its way to Mombasa, Kenya, 2 small boats of Somali pirates approached the ship.
No way.
your transmission now, but chances are it's just fishermen.
They're not here to fish.
The group fired weapons, including an RPG, one of which stuck into the Spirit but thankfully didn't explode. With the danger to everyone on board, the crew sprang into action. Without using any firearms, the ship's master-at-arms, Sombahadur Gurung, used the long-range acoustic device, or LRAD. However, he was struck non-fatally by a bullet. As the captain tried to ram the pirates with the Spirit, Michael Groves dragged Gurung to safety. He then turned on the sonic weapon, deterring the pirates.
We take the prosecution of these pirates very seriously.
In 2007, Gurung and Groves were awarded medals by Queen Elizabeth II.
W.
Number 5, runaway ship. The footage of this 2019 incident
looked more
like
shit, that's a big-ass ship headed about to...
disaster
What
film
the
in real
fuck
life.
is going
9
on?
stories high, 65,000 tons, capable of carrying 2,500 passengers.
In 2019, the MSC Opera experienced engine troubles in Venice, Italy.
No way!
To stop the boat from driving forward, as backup plans failed, the captain blared the sirens, causing tourists and locals to run for safety.
The announcement, Delta Echo, is code for the crew. Damage to the ship and collision.
Oh my
imminent.
god!
The massive ship smashed into the wharf and the
What is this
already
person
docked Uniworld River
doing?
cruise ship,
What is this person doing on there?
the
From-
River Countess.
Oh my
The much
God.
smaller ship suffered massive damage and 5 people were injured.
I heard this deafening noise coming closer, the sound of the horn. We were lucky, because it could have been much worse.
This incident
sure.
sparked locals and politicians to call
To be
for more
pissed.
restrictions on cruise ships in Venice's waters. The opera's captain and bridge staff were deemed at fault for the incident and sentenced to jail, which was later
No
commuted
way.
to fines. Number 4, Explorer of the Disease. At one point, the Royal Caribbean's Explorer of the Seas was the biggest cruise ship in the world. The company would rather everyone focus on
That
that
shit is
than on
huge.
what happened in 2014.
When I was in my room, I didn't know about the other people until my husband went out and told the crew attendant.
Shortly after leaving Cape Liberty, New Jersey, disease began to run rampant through
There's
the
no way.
vessel. By the time the ship docked at St. Thomas, U.S. Virgin Islands, 281 passengers and 22 crew members had reported symptoms of the highly infectious norovirus.
Norovirus can spread very readily from person to person, so when you have people confined, the spread can be quick and explosive.
The Centers for Disease Control and
And
Prevention,
that's what happened during COVID too.
or
You went on a
CDC,
ship
quickly
and all
arrived
that
to
sick.
assess the situation. In the end, nearly 700 people aboard had norovirus. The CDC confirmed that this was one of the worst outbreaks they had seen in 20 years.
Damn. But like, what do you expect? You're on a ship with like a bunch of people.
Everybody was, using buckets to do what they had to do.
Number 3,
Damn.
the Poop Cruise.
Oh,
in
the Poop
2013,
Cruise,
while in
this
the
was funny.
Gulf of Mexico, the Carnival Triumph experienced a fire in the engine room.
Were you scared?
I was pretty freaked out.
While that was quickly dealt with, the damage caused the ship to lose power. On top of food and water requiring rationing, the sewage
The
system
restrooms didn't work.
was backed up.
People were using the restroom in little red plastic bags and throwing them out into the hallway.
This forced human waste to leak all over the ship, hence the
Ugh.
colorful nickname of the cruise, as the
And
passengers
they still
were
use that ship today.
stuck aboard. It took 4 days for the Triumph to be taken by tugboats to a port in Mobile, Alabama. However, 2
Nah, they're extra for that.
months later, the ship escaped its moorings during a storm, causing significant damage to another boat.
Due to the high winds, the Carnival Triumph broke its moorings, drifted over across the Mobile ship channel. It had a small collision with the Army Corps of Engineer boat and a deck barge.
To make sure a fire like that doesn't happen again, Carnival announced a $300 million plan to upgrade its fleet. Number 2, Murder at Sea. In May 2025,
Murder
the
at
MSC
sea?
Virtuosa left Southampton, England for
That's
its
like a real life murder mystery. What the fuck?
day cruise to Bruges, Belgium. 60-year-old retired stunt performer James Messam was on board reportedly as part of a bachelor party, as several were being held. Yet soon after embarking, brawls allegedly happened as the alcohol flowed, as several were being held. Yet soon after embarking, brawls allegedly happened as the alcohol flowed freely.
Was that the ship?
However, a couple of hours after the Virtuosa had departed and while the vessel was still in British waters, horror struck. A violent altercation took place, resulting in Messam being severely injured.
Damn.
While the crew and a trained medic guest tried to help him, Messam sadly died. 2 men were soon arrested for murder and were released on bail as the investigation continued.
What?
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. The disappearance of Rebecca Coriam. In 2011,
What?
Coriam was working aboard the Disney Wonder as a youth worker. She sent her parents a message that she would call them the next day. Sadly, she didn't, and didn't arrive for her next shift.
Well, we got the phone call about 11:15
Damn.
there the Tuesday evening, just before we were going to bed, from Disney to say that Rebecca is missing at sea.
The investigation
Wow.
found CCTV footage in the early hours of Coriam looking distraught while talking to someone on one of the boat's internal phones. After another crew member checked on her, Coriam left and wasn't seen again. Disney believed she went overboard accidentally when a rogue wave hit the ship.
You had a potential crime scene.
Either went overboard or someone
that
threw her
needed to be
overboard.
preserved.
However, the controversial police investigation and doubts about Disney's explanation contributed to several theories, including that Coriam was murdered as part of a love triangle or for other motives. Coriam's family sued Disney, which was settled in 2016.
I don't think it gets any easier. I think the longer it goes on, the harder it seems to get.
What was your worst experience on board a cruise ship? Let us
No, yeah, that's what happened. She was in a love triangle, and
Bye, have a great time.